Real quick before I put this up, I guess somebody messed with my camera settings and now the camera quality is not the greatest, but the information is still good, so I'm gonna put this video up. I got a couple of videos like this, but like I said, the information's still good, so I think I'm gonna put it up anyway. Hello there, people of the internet. How is everybody doing today? I'm doing alright, thanks for asking. Over my time of doing my YouTube things and filming the things that I film, I've talked about the pros and cons between a lot of different systems and some of the benefits that you get from using a particular firearm as opposed to this other particular firearm for a particular job. The big thing with guns is there's no one do-everything gun. There's a general purpose gun that most people can use to achieve most jobs that they might need to achieve. It is a gun that is adequate at most jobs, but it doesn't really excel at anything particularly well. And whenever I talk about those different kinds of firearms, I will get a lot of people that go into the comments and they'll tell me I'm wrong about one thing or another, or why their particular choice of firearm is going to be better at whatever particular job it is that they decide to go with. And I think in a general sense, whenever it comes to a general purpose firearm, there are two different categories that go into the ideology of a general purpose firearm. One, the firearm has to be good enough to achieve the needs of its user, and by a pretty huge margin here in the United States, as United States citizens, there are a lot of different firearms options out there that we can utilize to achieve what most people would need a rifle to be able to achieve. And as a matter of fact, that's actually why guns like the AR are so gosh darn predominant here in the US. These can be configured to achieve literally any job. You can have these with any sort of barrel length that you want. You can have them in any caliber. Heck, you can swap one of these out, like you just swap the upper for 300 blackout if you want a 30 caliber round, similar to 7.62 by 39 or 6.5 Grendel if you want to touch out to any real distances, or any number of like the arc rounds that are out there. There's a lot of different options. I just bumped my camera stand, I'm sorry guys. But the general idea is the gun has to be good enough to achieve most things that most people need to do. But there's also the second standing that a lot of people overlook, because a lot of people in this realm of reality seem to just focus on logic. But there's an entirely different aspect that we have to look at, and that's the cool factor. A lot of people base their go-to general purpose firearm just based off a cool factor. And whether we want to admit it or not, whether we like it or not, that is the reality. People will pick something just because they think that it is cool. And that cool thing is good enough, it is adequate enough to do whatever it is that they need a gun to be able to do. And that's one of the reasons why they pick it. They have both the cool factor and it is adequate at the jobs that they need done. And see, I like people like that. I like the people who go out and pick a gun because they like it versus forcing themselves to use something that they don't like just because it is a better option. And meanwhile, the jobs that they are achieving can still be achieved with what they would consider not the better option. And yes, I understand if you want the absolute best performance out there, then go ahead and pick whatever it is that you want. And that's the point of this video. Pick whatever it is that you want. I don't care what you pick. And if you care what other people pick, that's weird. Not only is that weird, but that's not your call. That's not your decision to make. If someone else decides that they want to run something which might not be as capable as what it is that you think is the most practical option, then that shouldn't matter. The only reason why it should matter is if they are on your team for whatever it is that you're doing, whatever prepper lifestyle team it is that you decide to set together, and the person on that team needs to not be able to achieve what their job is on that team. Like, for example, if you have, I don't know, somebody as a designated cook who's on your team, who gives a damn if the guy's running a Mauser? Who gives a damn if the guy's got a lever action gun? As long as he can effectively and efficiently and accurately put lead downrange on whatever target he has to put lead downrange on, then that's all that should matter. If you have somebody who, say, decides to run a lever action and the rest of the group has ARs, I get it. There's going to be parts compatibility issues. There's going to be ammunition compatibility issues. But that shouldn't matter as long as they can stand on their own 2 feet, which they should be able to do if you have them inside of a prepper group. That's the point of a prepper group, being able to stand on your own 2 feet. But he should be able to stand on his own 2 feet and run what he wants to run if he wants to run those things. He needs to be able to supply the things that he needs to be able to keep that platform up and going. And if he decides to do that, that is his choice, and it doesn't matter as long as he can effectively do the job. And realistically speaking, I'm not sure what sort of bad situations you're finding yourself in as a United States citizen, but whatever it is that that guy picks is probably going to be adequate enough to be able to do that job. Like, for example, if you are someone who, say, chooses to run a Mauser, I don't care. I don't care if you decide to go running and gunning with a Mauser as long as you can run it effectively and run it well enough to be able to handle whatever situation it is we come across. If you can send lead downrange and hit your target fast and effective to the point to where that target cannot do damage to us and our crew, that's all I care about. I don't give a damn if you run a Mauser. I don't give a damn if you decide to go with 8mm Mauser, 7mm Mauser, hell, 7.65 Argentine, 308 conversion. I don't care what you decide to use as long as you can use it effectively to the point to where you're not a hindrance to the group. And nobody else should care what you run as long as you're not a hindrance to the group. And that's just people that are in your own circle. It is insane to me when somebody harps on somebody else in the comments section because they're using a particular gun that fits their needs and fits their role and is of something that they like and enjoy, and that person living their life, you know, who knows how many miles away since it's the internet, that person living their life with their adequate setup is not good enough for this other person who read about it in the YouTube comments, or this other person who watched a video on it, or this other person who has absolutely nothing to do with the life of this other guy. And that's, I guess, where my problem lays. The fact that people have such a problem with what other people do that doesn't affect them at all. So my advice is let whoever it is run whatever they want, because nobody should be able to tell them what it is that they should be running. Now, I get it, some platforms are more practical and more capable than others, but who cares as long as their platform is adequate enough to do the job that they need done with their particular gun. And here in the United States, most of the people, like, it's very, very rare to find a firearm that cannot achieve what most people would need to do. Realistically speaking, even if you have the most mediocre of calibers and the most mediocre of little firearms, if you know how to use it and you know how to use it well, and the gun itself is reliable. I'm not telling you to, you know, use a very poor quality gun. That doesn't always work. But if you can use it effectively and it's reliable, and you can use it to solve whatever jobs it is that you need, and you choose to use that thing, then dude, go for it. Don't let anybody else tell you that you can't, because that thing is adequate enough for your life and your particular setup, your situation, where you live, what it is that you're doing. It's good enough. This is one that gets a bunch of hate. I see in the comment section down below people who like, say, battle rifles, you know, hard-hitting 308 rifles, typically liking FAL or something like this G3, or the M14 or M1A also comes to mind. I see a lot of people in the comment section down below talking about how much they enjoy these things and how effective they are. And then we'll get the tactical runners who absolutely live and breathe, say, the AR-15, and they'll tell you how much more superior it is just because of statistics and what distances combat is most likely to take place at, and the lightweight nature of the 223 cartridge, and then they'll talk about different things that you can do to make that 223 better, like say running 77 grain bullets, or changing up your twist rates and changing up your barrel lengths, and etc., etc. But as citizens, as a United States citizen, very, 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 very rarely are we using an AR-15 for any sort of combat situation. I understand the aspects and the, what's the word I'm looking for here? Attraction? Is that the word I'm looking for? I understand the aspects and the attraction of, say, a platform like this. But if somebody can run a battle rifle, and they can run it well, and they can run it accurately, and they have the ammunition and supplies to be able to run that rifle, to be able to handle the jobs that they need to handle, then who gives a damn what they run? They can do their work with their particular firearm that they choose and they like, and it solves the problem. It does the job. So let them run what they want to run. All the people who go through and just give so much hate over what other people are using, it is insane to me. We're all on the same side here. We all like the fact that we are allowed to own things like this, and dividing ourselves is not, it's not a good idea. If you are the kind of guy to like Mausers and run Mausers, and that's your go-to because it's not only what you know, it's what you like, it's what you're comfortable with, and it's good enough for your needs and your situations, then dude, go for it. If you're the kind of guy who likes old school battle rifles, then by all means, dude, freaking go for it. If you want the most up-to-date technology and you're the kind of guy to go after a fully modded out AR, then dude, go for it. The point is, we are all armed, and we all need to continue to preserve our rights to continue to hold those arms. So there's my rant. It doesn't matter what somebody else is using, as long as they can use that to be a valuable asset in their particular situation, or if they are set up in your particular situation, if they can still do what they need to do with their particular gun, then who gives a damn? As long as they got the ammo to keep it running, and they got the extra supplies, parts, whatever else it is that they might need for that particular gun, as long as they can keep it going and be effective with it, who cares what they run? Thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go up. Have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see you on the next episode.
Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garrett. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.